Today's Gyan and Guard episode is brought to you by Relief Disability Support.
Are you looking for compassionate disability support services? Look no further. Introducing Relief Disability Support, where care meets community.
Owned and operated by a registered nurse with a heart for helping others, the team at Relief Disability Support understand that every person's journey is unique. That's why they offer personalised NDIS services tailored to your needs.
Whether it's therapy, nursing care, or household tasks, we have got you covered. Our team speaks your language, literally Punjabi, Hindi, and English. Rest assured, they are a NDIS registered provider. That means seamless access to NDIS managed plans.
Give us a call on 04 0256 0263 or visit the website at reliefdisabilitysupport.com.au.
ਸਾਡਾ ਨਾਮ ਧਿਆਨ ਤੇ ਕਰ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਂਦੇ ਨੇ ਹਰ ਕਿਸੇ ਦੀ ਸਾਰੀ ਬਾਤ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਸੁਣੋ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰੀ ਬਸ ਤੇ ਕਰਾਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਪਿਆਰ ਨਾਲ ਨੌਲੇਜ ਦੀ ਰੇਲ ਛੱਡਿਆਲੀ ਸੁਣ ਲਾ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਹਰ ਵਾਰ ਗਿਆ ਤੇ ਕਾਂਡ ਦਾ ਪਿਆਰ ਗਿਆ ਤੇ ਕਾਂਡ ਨਾਲ ਪਿਆਰ
Sat Sri Akal, Namaste, Kia ora, Women Jeka. Welcome to the second Gyan and Guard Podcast.
Sat Sri Akal ji ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ.
So, anyway, my name's G and this is Navi. I guess if you haven't watched the first episode, you really should. You'll get more of an introduction to who we are and why we're doing this. So if you accidentally come here, go back. Go to Spotify, YouTube, and
TikTok,
yep.
Instagram.
everywhere. Watch us and watch episode 1. But anyway, how's your week been?
Well, this is crazy, as you know. Sometimes you got no break. I'm so tired. We meant to do this podcast 2 days ago.
2 days ago, yeah.
I'm like, okay, shit, not today. I'm not ready for this. When you not get any time during the weekend, that's next week is just not good. Went to Cranbourne on Saturday,
Yep.
and then we out with girls.
How was Cranbourne though? Because that was kind of like a selfish trip for you and us.
It was a kind of a selfish trip, but thanks to Kuldeep Dee, it was amazing. She's always a humble person, as whoever know her, because if you see join kita sada podcast or to see Melbourne, though you know that who Kuldeep she's such amazing and a humble person. I went there, because our surname same.
Yeah, that's right.
So she's Kelly as well. We are Kelly. So on the stage, so yeah, and then had a great time. बहुत सारी कुड़ियां नु मैं मिली because Cranbourne जाना इतना ज़्यादा होता नहीं because it's too far for us. So it take us an hour and 30 minutes. But I went with my friends, so it was an easy journey. कुड़ियां ने गल्ला pretty good. गल्ला करदियां सी गईयां गल्ला करदियां आईयां. ਵਧੀਆ ਸੀ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ. ਬਹੁਤ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਸੋਹਣਾ ਲੱਗਾ ਕਿ ਉੱਥੇ ਆਂਟੀਆਂ ਦੀ ਉੱਥੇ ਕੋਈ ਸਿੰਗਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ ਆਇਆ. ਕੋਈ ਉਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀਗਾ ਕਿ ਸਿੰਗਰ ਨੂੰ ਜਸਟ ਪ੍ਰੋਪਰ ਤੀਆਂ ਸੀ ਜੋ ਤੀਆਂ ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ ਕਿ ਆਪਣੀ ਹੀ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਦੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਸੀ, ਆਪਣੀ ਹੀ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਦੀਆਂ ਆਂਟੀਆਂ ਸੀ, ਆਪਣੀ ਹੀ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਦੇ ਛੋਟੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਸੀ, ਵੱਡੀਆਂ ਕੁੜੀਆਂ ਸੀ, ਮੁੰਡੇ ਸੀ. ਕੀਰਤਨ ਤੋਂ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕੀਤਾ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ. ਮੈਂ ਅੱਜ ਤੱਕ ਤੀਆਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੋਈ ਵੀ ਦੇਖੀਆਂ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਕੀਰਤਨ ਤੋਂ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ ਹਨਾ. ਸੋ that was really amazing. ਤੋਂ ਦੂਜੀ ਚੀਜ਼ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਜੇ ਕੁੜੀ ਕਿਤੇ ਗਈ ਆ, ਮਾਈ ਗॉड ਕੁੜੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਪਾਏ ਸੀ. ਦੋ ਚਾਰ ਤੋਂ ਮੈਂ ਪੁੱਛਿਆ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸੂਟ ਕਿੱਥੋਂ ਲਿਆ? And I was amazing.
She asked you where you got your suit. Don't tell her. She's got enough.
No, ਕੁੜੀਆਂ ਕੋ ਕਦੀ ਸੂਟ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦੇ. It's never ending story. So no, it was really good. But you tell me, because you were home with kids that day.
Oh, yeah, we had a full-on day. So I got up early, took them to swimming. So they went to swimming first, then Eva's got soccer straight after.
Yeah.
So straight after swimming, we went off to soccer training. Eva trained. And then we came back home, got lunch, I had to dump them off at their mummy's house for a bit while I went and got my beard done.
Because we're getting ready for the next day party.
Yeah, so my cousins from New Zealand came over this week. That's why I'm chowing down on proper sour lollies.
It was full.
Thanks, Sadie. But you can't get these sour lollies in Australia, and it's a bugbear.
That's true. That is true.
I need the
ਜਦੋਂ
picket.
ਮੈਂ ਨਿਊਜ਼ੀਲੈਂਡ ਰਹਿੰਦੀ ਸੀ ਮੈਂ ਖਾ ਲੈਂਦੀ ਸੀ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਕੀ ਹਾਲਾਂਕਿ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਚਾਕਲੇਟਸ ਪਸੰਦ ਆ ਪਰ ਮੈਂ ਖਾ ਲੈਂਦੀ ਸੀ ਇੱਥੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਮਿਲਦੀ
No, the pick and mix game.
ਬਹੁਤ ਕੁਝ ਨਹੀਂ ਮਿਲਦਾ
The pick and mix game needs to pick up the game in Australia.
And sandwiches and fish and chips.
And yeah, but you're never going to get that. You're never going to get fish and chips. You're never going to get pies. You're never going to get the. That's just a Kiwi
But I think ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਨਾ taste ਉਦਾਂ ਦਾ ਬਣ ਜਾਂਦਾ. So my taste is like that. For me it was hard. ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਤਾਂ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਤੋਂ ਨਿਊਜ਼ੀਲੈਂਡ ਆਈ ਤਾਂ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਦਾ ਟੇਸਟ ਛੱਡ ਕੇ ਨਿਊਜ਼ੀਲੈਂਡ ਦਾ ਟੇਸਟ ਡਿਵੈਲਪ ਕੀਤਾ. And then we're like, okay, now we're moving to Australia. So now we are here and now I'm changing my taste. But I think because in New Zealand we were in a small city and zyada Punjabi nahi si utthe. So that's why when I moved to Australia, to Melbourne, it's somewhere I felt like I'm back in the game. Like too many Punjabis. And a friend circle unna sona ban janda. I'm doing gidda. So and I have so many more friends. हालांकि इंडिया दी कमी नहीं पूरी हुंदी because जिथे मर्जी तुसी चले जाओ जिथे तुसी जम्मे पले हैं है ना. I'm just gonna go back to the same track pretty much every podcast. Love India. I will tell you a story. जब मैं नवी न्यूजीलैंड आई है ना, I was homesick. So I put it on Facebook post, said I miss Punjab or I miss my country or miss my something. I put it like that. There was a boy, he used to be my classmate in uni. ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਵਧੀਆ ਆ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਤਾਂ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੀ ਕੰਟਰੀ ਛੱਡ ਕੇ ਚਲ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ ਮੁੜ ਕੇ ਉੱਥੇ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਹਿਣ ਲੱਗ ਪੈਂਦੇ ਆ ਮਿਸ ਯੂ ਐਂਡ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਨਾ ਬੜਾ ਗੁੱਸਾ ਚੜਿਆ ਹਨਾ. ਮੈਂ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਦੇਖੋ ਅਸੀਂ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਨੂੰ ਪਿਆਰ ਕਰਦੇ ਤਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਪੰਜਾਬ 'ਚ ਹੀ ਆ. ਮੈਂ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਉੱਥੇ ਫਾਰਮੇਸੀ ਕੀਤੀ ਹਨਾ, ਇੰਨੇ ਪੈਸੇ ਲਾਏ ਪਰ ਉੱਥੇ ਚਲੋ ਜੌਬ ਮਿਲ ਵੀ ਗਈ. 9 to 5 ਜੌਬ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਸੀ, ਕੋਈ ਐਡੀ ਬੈਡ ਜੌਬ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ, ਵਧੀਆ ਪੇ ਮਿਲਦੀ ਸੀ ਪਰ ਉੱਥੇ ਗਰੋਥ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ ਨਾ. ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇੱਕ ਬੈਟਰ ਲਾਈਫ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਕਿੰਨੇ ਲੋਕੀ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਕੰਟਰੀਆਂ 'ਚ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ ਬਿਕੋਜ਼ ਵੀ ਆਰ ਹੇਅਰ ਫॉर ਬੈਟਰ ਲਾਈਫ. ਇਫ ਇੰਡੀਆ 'ਚ ਕਰਪਸ਼ਨ ਨਾ ਹੋਵੇ, ਇੰਡੀਆ 'ਚ ਜਿੰਨਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਪੜ੍ਹੇ ਆ ਉਹਦੇ ਹਿਸਾਬ ਨਾਲ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਜੌਬਸ ਮਿਲਣ, ਕਿਉਂ ਆਊਗਾ ਕੋਈ ਆਪਣੀ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਛੱਡ ਕੇ ਹੈ ਨਾ. ਚਲੋ ਹੁਣ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਸੈਟਲਡ ਹੋ ਗਏ, ਅਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਮੰਮੀ ਪਾਪਾ ਸੱਦ ਲਏ ਤੇ ਹੈ ਨਾ, ਮਾਂ ਪਿਓ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਆ ਗਏ, ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ, ਪਰ ਫੇਰ ਵੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਨਹੀਂ. ਕੋਈ ਚਾਚੀ ਤਾਏ ਦੇ ਨਿਆਣੇ ਇੰਗਲੈਂਡ 'ਚ ਬੈਠੇ ਆ, ਕੋਈ ਅਮਰੀਕਾ 'ਚ ਆ, ਕਿੰਨੇ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ 'ਚ ਆ, ਕੋਈ ਨਾ ਜਰਮਨੀ 'ਚ ਆ. ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਦੀ ਇਕੱਠੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋ ਸਕਦੇ.
But like, I think like it's difficult. Like even this time, like I haven't lived longer than like 6 months in India.
Yes.
And this time, especially, I found as an adult, when I came back, I really missed it.
Yes.
It was like, but I think it's just because we go over there, we're free, we don't do anything.
No.
You know. Yeah, you break away, and it's like I think it's just the community, like the society.
Yes.
Like here, we'll speak like this week. Both of us have been crazy at work. We barely get like I think I text you today from work where I was like I miss you.
Yes.
Like that it's actually impacting my mood. Like today I'm like I actually miss you. We had no time this week.
No time. Time to cheta because we were the other day we were sleeping. No, we were really late for bed because guest Daisy and so went to bed straight away, fell asleep. He normally gets sleep paralysis, है ना. अपने पंजाबी
here we go.
अपने पंजाबी कहते ना दबार रह जाता. So he was sleeping like this and he's like and I was like I moved his hands. I was like okay, hey Jay, you okay? I think I fell asleep as well. And then because it's in my mind that you having that sleep paralysis but maybe we will sleep for a long time or whatever, you just jumped out of the bed and you just screamed I didn't know what happened. मैनू लगा कि पता नहीं इन्हू खरे डर लगा. What happened? I just jumped out of the bed and just grabbed him. I was like, what happened? He's like, leave me, I'm having a cramp.
It's just my calf locked up.
I was like, you serious?
My calf completely locked up in my sleep. And like, because okay, so normally when I get sleep paralysis, I'll like be on like the edge of a dream, and I'll be in the process of waking up, and I'll wake up but I can't move, or I'm still trapped in that in between. It's really weird. Like I'm trapped in that in between I know I'm in a dream, but I can't wake up, and I'm just stuck there. And so Navi's worked out now after so long just to grab me and give me a little shake, and I'll just go back to sleep. So she's, I don't know what you've done. So I
did the same thing.
I cramped up, and I had to just, I was like, shit, I just need to get this cramp undone. So I've jumped up to try and stretch out my calf, and she's like rugby tackling me from behind. It's like,
oh my god. Now I thought that something didn't kuch ho gaya na, something's happening, you know.
Anyway, hey,
Itna zyada
sleep
bad
paralysis is not a funny thing. Thank you.
No. That's what I was about to ask you guys, because ਜਦੋਂ ਤੱਕ ਸਾਡਾ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਕੱਠੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ ਹੋਏ ਹਨਾ, ਮੈਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀਗਾ about sleep paralysis, because obviously ਮੇਰੀ family ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀਗਾ. I never dealt with it. I never come across that thing. But then when G had that, and sometimes I talk to my friends or at work. I used to work in a hospital, so I talk to my colleagues. And I heard from so many people that it's like sometimes it's a really serious thing. So if and if you want to share your experience, we will definitely share your experience in our next podcast. You can send us a message.
I can't be the only one.
Or you can comment underneath. So we will definitely talk about if you want to share your experience. And I want to know that, you know, sometimes you don't know how to deal with it. Now I'm laughing. Sometimes menu dar lagda na, because sometimes you just like inni sweaty hunde ya na, inni zyada like really palpitations, all that kind of stuff. So I was just like because jinna tak tusi us cheez nu deal nahi kar rahe, you don't know what to expect.
I'm so used to it now, though. I just go back to sleep.
Yes, you go back to sleep, but I cannot.
Anyway, back to what we were talking about. So anyway, so you go off to this mellow thing. So I'm dealing with the kids, and then she comes back for like an hour, changes her dress, makeup, and off you go again to your retro night, leaving me with the kids.
That wasn't a great night. How much we paid for that night? Sorry, but it wasn't good. And I messaged him from there, and I was like, this is so boring.
I was so angry when you did that. I was so angry when you were like, this is so boring. I was like, you better go bloody enjoy your I'm here with the kids. But,
no, but it's actually like how much you paid. And the food they served, and there was no proper DJ, there was no games, it wasn't a retro night, and nobody was wearing retro themed clothes. And then they, you know, okay, we went there, we had a little bit to eat, and then they're like, okay, chalo hon hai na, floor te dance vagara karan lag paye. So girls were enjoying, and then they started this game, who was wearing like a proper retro themed dress, and that's where it all collapsed. Sare bore ho gaya, because it just like they dragged it so much. You know, obviously जिन्हां ने मेहनत कीती हुंदी, जिन्हां ने organize कीता, उन्होंने अपने वालों बहुत वधिया तरीके नाल organize करदे है ना, क्योंकि अगले नूं हुंदा कि next time भी असीं कुछ करिए तां लोकी आउण, है ना, which is amazing. I'm not saying that कि उन्होंने कुछ गलत कीता, but sometimes to engage people and how to run a thing smoothly, it's really important, है ना. If next time, if somebody asks me, you want to go to this retro night, I'm going to say no. All my friends were saying, we dwara nahi auna ithe, hai na? Because we paid like $70. $70, you paying $70, and the food wasn't great. And there was no proper roti or bread. I'm whinging like a proper desi kuri. It wasn't.
You got a night out, okay?
But yes, I think we enjoyed more in a ride back home. We were just laughing in the car. Oh, in like 30-35 minutes, we both enjoyed kita kuriyan ne. But at the end of the day, ਸਾਰੀਆਂ ਇਕੱਠੀਆਂ ਗਈਆਂ, had fun, ਸਾਰੀਆਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਆਪਣੇ ਘਰ ਵਾਲਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਛੱਡ ਗਈਆਂ, ਦੁਨੀਆ ਜੰਨਿਆਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੰਭਲ।
That's all right. We had a bit of K fry, some dirty bird, and then then you got pissy at me when you got home because I was watching Lydia Ko
Yes!
just go down the back nine to win her gold medal.
Yes. Hey, no, you said to me 10 minutes. But there was no 10 minutes. It was nearly 1 o'clock. ਮੈਂ ਉੱਥੋਂ ਭੱਜੀ ਆਈ ਕਿ ਨਹੀਂ ਘਰ ਨੂੰ ਜਾਣਾ ਨਾ ਕੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਹੋਣੇ ਕਿ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਸਵੇਰ ਦੀ ਨਿਆਣੇ ਮੇਰੇ ਕੋਲ ਛੱਡ
I'd put the kids to bed, they'd eaten, they'd brushed their teeth, to bed, and it was just me watching the women's golf.
Yeah, but Olympics, it's never watch Olympics.
Yeah, it was, well,
You know,
hey,
you always did, but I never,
always.
because obviously, है ना, कभी मेरा इतना interest नहीं बनी. My biggest interest this year was when what's his name? Arshad Nadeem,
The Pakistani
javelin player.
Yeah.
He won gold medal. It was the first gold medal for Pakistan.
But did
And do you know he was a cricketer before?
Yeah, but did you? Well, I thought what was really cool was they interviewed both the mums, and the mums.
Really? I didn't see that.
So they interviewed his mum, and they interviewed Neeraj Chopra's mum,
Ah.
and they both just complimented each other's son.
No.
And it was just like
That's
they
cute.
like everyone spends all this India, Pakistan,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
and then like the mums were just like complimentary. The other thing I found, I don't know if this is true. This was on the internet, and I was reading through some of the threads, and they're talking about how what is his name, Nadeem? I'm gonna
Arshad
make sure.
Nadeem.
Arshad
No,
Nadeem.
Arshad Nadeem, because I literally did a worksheet at school today about Olympics.
Arshad
So,
Nadeem, yeah.
Arshad.
So he
How did you say?
Arshad.
It's Arshad Nadeem.
Oh, God, you're gonna,
ਗੋਰਿਆਂ ਦਾ Arshad Nadeem.
they know what I'm
ਇਹ
saying.
ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਤੇ ਪਾਕਿਸਤਾਨੀ ਨਾਮਾਂ ਦੀ ਨਾ ਮਰਡਰ ਕਰ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਇਹ.
Anyway, so I was reading through the threads, and they were saying how he was struggling with funding,
Oh.
and that Neeraj Chopra sent him money for new javelin. So I don't know if this is true. Like, there's no
Yeah.
way for me to actually look through and find out. But
Yeah.
if that's true, that's really cool. If
Yes,
that did
yes.
happen,
Yeah.
because you know,
But that was the new record for Olympics. Nobody threw that, is it? That's what they were saying, because above 90 it was a
yeah,
new
it might have been right.
record
Yeah,
for
it might have
javelin.
been. Yeah, it might have been. But yeah,
I was reading about this because in school today we were learning about Olympics. The kids know what Olympics are, because you know nowadays we are multicultural, so every color kids in class. So I had this boy, he's Pakistani. He came to me. I went to a new school today. So he came to me and he's like, "Are you Indian?" I was like, "Yes, I am." He's like, "Do you know who I am?" And I was like, "No, sweetheart. Do you want to tell me?" He's like, "I'm Pakistani." And I was like, "Oh." He's like, My dad says Indians are neighbors. And I was like, yes, we do. We are your neighbors. And
What?
then he was...
Actually, what's today's date?
It's tomorrow, 15 August. Ajadi da din kalu apna na.
Yeah, but today's the day they cut the border.
Yes. Vande no. But anyway, so he's like, so we had this project today, what we're running in writing class, that you need to pick one athlete from Olympics and you need to, you know, research about that and then read a paragraph. He was like only Pakistani. He had no idea. He's in grade 3, so he got no idea what he's writing. But he's like, he said to me, he forgot my name because it was my second day there. He's like, and I was like, yes. He's like, can you help me with this? I only want to write about Pakistani. And I was like, that's okay. So I grabbed my sheet. I still have a photo of that. I will just put it there. So I had to search because I didn't know much about Arshad Nadeem. So he was gold medalist in Commonwealth Games.
Oh, yeah.
He had bronze in Asian Games. He had gold in Olympics now. And he had a silver in one of the other summer games or something. So, and then we found out that he was a cricketer before. So ਜਦੋਂ ਉਹਦਾ cricket ਚ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਇਆ, then he's like, okay, I'm going this path. And in his recent interview, he said, not getting into cricket team was the best thing happened to me. Because obviously, ਉੱਚ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਤਾਂ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਆ ਨਹੀਂ ਮਿਲਣਾ ਸੀ ਮੌਕਾ, ਹਨਾ? So, yeah, so...
But it's interesting because, like, Pakistan gold medal. New Zealand, 5.4 million people, I think 11th on the table.
Yeah.
India, 0 gold medals.
Yes, this time none.
Yeah.
And about the forgot. What's her name? The girl.
Yes.
The forgot's daughter.
What's her name? I did write it down.
100
Vinesh.
grand.
Vinesh Phogat. Yeah, but
Vinesh Phogat,
I
yes.
read that and I saw like all the media outcry. But at the end of the day, the rules are the rules, and you know the rules.
Yes.
And you know that, like especially like I love the UFC, and you watch the UFC, and you watch athletes weight cut.
Yes.
They've got like sometimes they're like 6 hours away from weigh-ins, and they need to drop kilos, and they're like in the hot bath, towels all over them, like struggling, nauseous.
They did say that she didn't eat anything all night. They were in she was in sauna, and she was really dehydrated, so she collapsed, I think, as well when she. But I get it; it's hard, but then you cannot blame the authorities because they are following the rules and stuff. But again, it's hard.
Look, I've never been a fan of the way combat sports have the weight categories.
Yeah.
I don't think it's not the weight category. The weight categories are fine, but they should not allow weight cutting.
Yes.
So ONE FC over in Singapore, they have hydration tests. So
you should be fully hydrated.
So you have to be hydrated when you weigh in.
Yeah.
It's not 100% accurate. There's sort of ways around it, but it's still a step in the right direction.
Yeah.
Where I find that with weight cutting, like especially in the UFC, you see some guys, they're at death's door to get under the weight for like 10 minutes.
Yes.
And then once they're under the weight, they've got like 24 hours to the fight.
Yes.
And then you watch them walk into the ring and they're like out here. Yesterday, you were like the last Conor McGregor fight, he was like skin and bone. The next day he comes out.
I remember that day.
And it's just sanctioned cheating.
Yes.
And I think, so for me, I think like she certainly would have, I think her coaches would need to be looked at. Because it's on them. Like as a coach and nutritionist, it'd be on them to make sure she makes weight. But on top of that, if she's fainting and, really...
How much dehydrated she was.
Yeah, but then the next question that I raise is she in the right weight class?
Yeah.
Does she need to go up a weight class and then not cut so hard? And
maybe if she was in an upper class, she could be, even though she maybe or nahi win kardi koi, but she could fight.
Yeah, exactly. She would wrestle. Yeah. But it's just difficult. Look, it's really heartbreaking for her to get that far and then not be able to. But I think at the end of the day, it's like anything, and it's like even with soccer and different sports where you pick up a yellow card in the semi-final.
Yes.
And you can't play the final. It's the rule. Like you can't dodge around that in any way. So yeah, I mean it's.
But when ਜਦੋਂ ਉਹ ਕਰਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ qualifying role ਚੱਲਦਾ ਸੀ round for javelin.
For javelin, yeah.
Naveen. Is it Naveen?
Neeraj. Yeah.
Neeraj Chopra. He was like the first throw. Was it 89.5? No, 89.3.
Yeah.
And nobody was close to him. Now, the only thing I find I don't know, but I don't think so. It should be there. Like, okay, if you throw a javelin and it was a bad throw, and most of the players were crossing the line.
Yeah, that's always
because they don't want public to know, or they don't want their bad score to be published or whatever. I don't think so.
I think it's just because it's
because one of the player he got cross because 3 of his throws were not nice, and it wasn't a foul. So what he did is it wasn't a nice throw, so he stepped in.
Yeah,
the line.
But I think the thing with the javelin is, and it's the same with all the throwing aspects of track and field, is there's an automatic, especially in the qualification, there's an automatic qualification measurement that they measure.
Completely understand.
So they know that I have to cross that
in
order to automatically qualify for the final. So if they know they're well short of that, they just step out the front. It's been they do that ever since I've watched the Olympics since I was little. I've seen them do that.
No. I'm not saying that you karde ya ki nahi karde. All I'm saying is it wasn't a foul.
No, of course not.
I don't think so. It should happen.
That's just,
okay, that's a bad throw. It's a bad throw. You know, it is what it is.
Yeah, but I guess that's it. But anyway, so yeah, I got to watch Lydia Ko win her gold medal, even though you were.
I watched it too.
Grumpily.
Yes, because I was tired, and the next day it was G's cousin's engagement, and then it was Sunday, so we were going.
Yeah, who holds an engagement on a Sunday? Darren.
Because it was a birthday.
Yeah, congratulations, by the way.
No, it was a good party. We enjoyed it. It was a good party. But so tired. Came home in the RDB song episode. Next day at work, it was my first day in that school. It wasn't a good day, and I was like, I need to go home. So tired. And then his family was going back to New Zealand. So they all came for dinner that night, Monday night. So again, we were late till midnight. Midnight to midnight to gaye hai na, aap to baad gaye bed hai na. And then you can't go to sleep straight away. Though I'm one of those who just hit the bed and just gone.
You didn't have to be at work at 6.
What I need to get kids ready, get myself ready, breakfast, lunch, drop Chutku, drop my daughter, then go to school.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
But no, it was and then archery in Olympics. That's the one who was so good. Amazing.
Yeah, it was like you watch a lot of
Japanese? Japan.
No, it was Korea that took out
Korea.
4 medals.
Yes. Clean gold karke rakhe to unhone.
Yeah, but there's a lot of sports that you don't normally watch. Like even the skateboarding and stuff like that was pretty epic.
Yes, that 14-year-old.
Yeah, it was a 14-year-old. I think
What did she say that what she's getting after?
She wanted a duck or something.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, no, the Olympics were good, and I mean they're over now, and the Paralympics are now.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure. I haven't jumped on the Channel 9 yet to see any of that, but yeah, they'll still be running for the next couple of weeks. But yeah, and anything else from our week?
No. You know the other thing from a week, that boy. Nothing.
Oh, the missing boy.
The missing boy.
Yeah, that was
felt so bad for him. For the first couple of days.
Yeah.
And then I found out that he had.
Yeah, but you still feel bad for the parents.
Yes, for the parents, not for that. I shouldn't say that anything now, but how come to see Kuri the picture?
Yeah, but look, when
Mom was crying. You can tell me because you were born here. है ना ਅਸੀਂ ਇੰਡੀਆ 'ਚ ਇਦਾਂ ਦੇ ਕੰਮ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਨਾ ਸਾਡੇ ਛਿੱਤਰ ਬੜੇ ਪੈਂਦੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਸੀ ਹਨਾ ਵੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਜਨ ਭਜਣ ਗਰਲਫ੍ਰੈਂਡ ਬॉयਫ੍ਰੈਂਡ ਤੱਕ ਠੀਕ ਆ ਹਨਾ ਹਜੇ ਵੀ ਹੁਣ ਤਾਂ ਟਾਈਮ ਬਹੁਤ ਚੇਂਜ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਹਨਾ ਹੁਣ ਤਾਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਆਈ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ 10-12 ਸਾਲ ਹੋ ਗਏ but you were born here you know he was 14 yes 14. He's 14 so he left home he went to Sydney you know he said sold his vote.
Yeah, look, I think regardless of the what he did, I mean, he's still there's no news about him being found yet.
No, he did.
So, was he?
Yeah,
was he
from Sydney. He's with his family now. I was just watching it this morning.
Okay, I hadn't got the update, but I mean, it's the one thing I did see. This was quite sort of telling. Was I was on Facebook just when it was all sort of breaking, and on the normal news posts, there was so many, and I'm sorry to say it, but armchair critics jumping on there, clearly not Indian, jumping on there and being oh, the parents must be controlling, or the parents must be abusive, the abuse will come out, and I was like, all right, cool kids,
yes,
and then
came out,
yeah, and then on, like, there's the Indians in Melbourne and the Indian pages, everyone was like, oh, the parents, full parents, the full parents. So I was like, it's really
Both ways,
striking
yes,
how the moment it's like an Indian family, the parents must be the reason this kid's run away. And I'm like, if the shoe was on the other foot, it's like you don't get that. You don't get that, but you don't get that reaction from the public. And I just thought it was really interesting.
Yes.
Like, I'm not saying everyone, and Facebook's a cesspool anyway.
Yes.
But like, I just felt like reading it, and there was a lot of comments like that, and I was like, it just goes to show where our society kind of just automatically goes to the lowest point of straight away, just be like, oh, there must be this abusive.
The first thing should be like, I hope the boy is okay, and just be nice to the parents. All you can do is, because being outsider, you don't know what to do, all you can do is just to share that post.
Yeah, and just look, I don't think it, like,
or you just pray to God that ki hana chalo bachcha theek hove na, apni family nu mil jave, kuch stupid na kare, hana nyana, because 14 teenage ya na, you never know ki bachya ne kede passe nu tor pena ya kidan da, because nowadays
but you gotta remember,
no,
it's not even that. Like, you gotta remember, at 14, you're like, speaking,
you're an idiot.
Speaking from me, I was an idiot.
Yes.
And I was an idiot till like 25.
So ਮੈਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਜਦੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ 14 ਸਾਲ ਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ, ਮੇਰੇ ਮੰਮੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ ਵੀ 10 12 13 ਸਾਲ ਦੇ ਨਿਆਣੇ ਨੂੰ ਨਲੀ ਪੂੰਝਣੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਉਂਦੀ, ਤਾਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਗਰਲਫ੍ਰੈਂਡ ਬॉयਫ੍ਰੈਂਡ ਬਣਾਈ ਬੈਠੇ ਆ ਨਾ, ਪਰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਟਾਈਮ 'ਚ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀ, ਹੁਣ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਝ ਪਤਾ,
but it's like
everything, they know what to do and what's going on, even though in school sometimes you being a teacher, you're just walking in the classroom and sometimes you listen to those conversations your little kids having, and the way girls and boys sometimes just,
like, I guess I haven't been exposed to that too much, but like, going back to like the whys of like running away, like, I get it, like, and that first like baby love, that's stupid, like, there's no, like, I don't think there's any way of knowing how anyone's going to react to that sort of stuff.
And boys, 14 should be like grade 8.
Yeah, like, and I was
time school
yeah, but you don't think like that when you're that age.
Yes, like, you know what? I think, I don't know, but it's just my opinion. Because Mum said in an interview after like 2-3 days when he wasn't home that she found out the night before when he left that he had a breakup.
Yeah.
So maybe he found out that, oh no, shit, now Mum knows, Dad knows, my family knows, or, he wasn't going to school from 2 weeks. So you never know, how mentally stressed he was, but then how smart, mentally stressed and being so smart. Not using my cards, selling my phone, nobody can track my phone.
The thing is, he's obviously a smart kid.
Yes.
And the only thing, like, from my point of view, in my experience, having grown up here, and without, like, look, the family deserves their privacy, and course, like, at the end of the day, I'm not here to judge that. But what I'm saying is, the only thing I can sort of take away, and how it feels like to me as a guy that sort of grew up in similar circumstances, is he obviously had the breakup. The family found out late about the breakup. Yeah. So to me, it seems like he didn't really have an avenue to talk to them about that sort of stuff.
Yes.
And when that happens, you get this, where they either, I know I did, they either hide everything, or
they're pretty open about everything.
Or when something bad happens, there's no guidelines on how to deal with it. Yeah. Because you can't talk to anyone about it, and no one said, hey, this could happen, and when it happens, it's going to suck, but just remember we're here. And I think, and I think that's probably what I look at. The main takeaway from everything is I look at that and I go, I feel like that kid didn't have that avenue. He had nobody older that had been through that in his life that he could turn to and go, hey. And I was the same. Like, my parents immigrated, so that they never went through any of that stuff. So you can't talk to them about it. They've never, they've never had that. So and I think we're lucky. Like, our kids, I think, because I grew up here, you grew up in India, so they get the best of both worlds. And we sort of have to explain certain stuff to each other
Yeah. Oh,
about
yes.
how things run. And
Like, you used to, just not used to, he still says to me, ਜਦੋਂ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਿਆਣੇ ਨੇ ਆਪਣਾ boyfriend girlfriend ਘਰ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਉਣਾ, ਮੈਨੂੰ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਤੇਰਾ ਤਾਂ reaction ਹੀ different ਹੋਣਾ. I cannot imagine that day. I know that it's gonna happen, but I cannot imagine that day.
I'm just gonna have
What's
to
I'm
keep your
gonna
mouth
do?
shut the whole
It's like,
time.
okay.
Nah, it's like you gotta, like, the biggest thing
But you can do what you can do. Do your best, and rest is
I think
depends.
having a daughter for me was like really eye opening.
Yeah.
Just to what I think we kind of take it for granted. When you grow up as a guy in the Western world, you sort of take it for granted in terms of like your safety and like things like that. And I empathize with that even before Eva was born. I was never like a and I'd never been raised to be disrespectful to women. But you still don't get it. And it's not until like when I started looking or talking to like friends and family and stuff like that around this, but definitely when Eva was born, it was like it changes you as a dad, and you start to look into how you're going to raise this girl to be a woman.
Yeah.
And for me, like the biggest thing, and I can't remember who said it now, but they were like, "Don't raise a victim."
Yes, definitely.
Like
Definitely. You need to make your kids this much strong that they can differentiate between what's good and what's bad, and how much you can take it, and when it's the time to say, okay, I'm done, or you need to stop this. I think it's for everyone. It's really hard. You say it's because nowadays divorce is very common. ਕੋਈ ਕਿਸੇ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਹਾਰਦਾ. ਸੋ ਇੰਨਾ ਕੁ ਵੀ ਨਾ ਹੋਵੇ ਕਿ ਕਿਸੇ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਹੀ ਬਰਦਾਸ਼ਤ ਨਾ ਕਰੋ. You need to know the boundaries. You need to know the line ਕਿ ਕਿੰਨਾ ਕੁ ਕਿਸੇ ਦੀ bullying ਲੈਣੀ ਆ ਜਾਂ ਕਿੰਨਾ ਕਿਸੇ ਦਾ pressure ਲੈਣਾ ਆ, where to say stop and where to like, okay, for yourself, like, okay, no, I need to stop. I think ਇਹ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਬੱਚੇ ਨੂੰ ਨਾ learn ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਆਪਣੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਸਿਖਾਉਣੀਆਂ ਚਾਹੀਦੀਆਂ ਕਿ ਟਰਾਈ ਕਰੋ. ਬੀਇੰਗ ਅ ਪੇਰੈਂਟ ਅਸੀਂ ਟਰਾਈ ਹੀ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਹਨਾ. ਬਾਕੀ ਤਾਂ ਬੱਚੇ ਤੇ ਆ ਕਿ ਬੱਚੇ ਨੇ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਦਾ ਨਿਕਲਣਾ ਆ, ਉਹਦੀਆਂ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਦਾ ਉਹਦਾ ਸਾਰੀਆਂ ਉਹਦੀਆਂ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਹੋ ਜਾਣੀਆਂ. ਬਟ ਆਪਾਂ ਤਾਂ ਟਰਾਈ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਨਾ ਕਿ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਦੀ ਟੀਚਿੰਗ ਦਿਓ ਕਿ ਬੱਚਾ ਸਟਰੋਂਗ ਹੋਵੇ, ਇੰਨਾ ਕੁ ਸਟਰੋਂਗ ਹੋਵੇ ਕਿ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਕਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਪਵੇ ਤਾਂ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਹੋਵੇ ਕਿ ਮੇਰੇ ਪੇਰੈਂਟਸ ਹੈਗੇ, I can go back and talk to them openly rather than hiding stuff. If we don't know how close he's with his family, ਅਸੀਂ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਜੱਜ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਦੇ. Apart from that, I'm just saying ਕਿ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਆਪਣਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਇੰਨਾ ਕੁ ਮਾਂ ਪਿਓ ਦੇ ਫਰੈਂਡਸ ਹੋਣੇ ਚਾਹੀਦੇ ਆ ਕਿ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਲੱਗੇ ਕਿ ਨਹੀਂ, I can go home and I can talk to my mum or my dad about everything. I think that is very important.
Yeah, like I think it's like a fine balance between like being. I think there was a study not long ago where they did like they ranked how parents looked after their kids, and it was like loving and permissive, loving and strict.
Yeah.
What was the other one? No, it was there was another couple of rankings, and I think the one that was the worst was loving and permissive.
Yeah.
So the worst kids were from families that are loving and let them do whatever they want.
Whatever they do. No.
The best kids,
boundaries,
the best kids were from loving and strict.
Yes.
The second, this was like where it was weird, was like I think it was like an not abusive, but like very like not loving.
Yeah.
And strict were the better kids than the ones that were loving and
Definitely.
so I think that's where like there's a fine balance between you need the kid to learn on their own.
ਉਹੀ ਘੁੰਮ ਫਿਰ ਕੇ ਚੀਜ਼ ਆ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਕਿ ਬੈਲੈਂਸ ਹੋਣਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਆ. everyday life 'ਚ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੁਛ ਨਾ ਕੁਛ ਨਵਾਂ learn ਕਰਦੇ ਹੋ। ਜਿਵੇਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਕਿੰਨੀ ਵੀ age ਹੋ ਜਾਵੇ ਹਨਾ, you learn something new every day. So I think it's really important for being ਅਸੀਂ young parents ਆ ਹਨਾ, ਸਾਡੇ ਲਈ ਕਈ ਵਾਰੀ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਖੁਦ ਨੂੰ ਅਸੀਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਨਵੇਂ ਆ, ਅਸੀਂ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਹਨਾ ਮਾਈਗ੍ਰੇਟਡ ਆ, ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਤਾ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਸਮਟਾਈਮ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਮਝ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਜਦੋਂ ਬੱਚੇ ਸਪੈਸ਼ਲੀ ਟੀਨਏਜ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ। ਮੇਰੀਆਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੀਆਂ ਫਰੈਂਡਸ ਆ, ਆਪਾਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਕਰੀ ਦੀਆਂ ਕਿ ਬੱਚੇ ਸੁਣਦੇ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ, ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਕੋਲ ਆਈਪੈਡਸ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ। 13 ਬੱਚਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ, ਉਹਨੂੰ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਫੋਨ ਵੀ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ, ਉਹਨੂੰ ਆਈਪੈਡ ਤਾਂ ਚਲੋ ਜੀ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਮਿਲ ਹੀ 8 9 10 ਸਾਲ ਦੇ ਨੂੰ ਜਾਂਦਾ, ਬੱਚੇ ਰੂਮਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਹਰ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਉਂਦੇ, ਉਹ ਸੁਣਦੇ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਪੇਰੈਂਟਸ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ।
But that comes down to like the parents' control, and I just don't like going back to Eva being born. Like as she grew up, like she's still young, like she's so young, but like I read all these books and things like that, and 90% of the books were basically outlining how detrimental social media is to girls. So, for example, what happens is like they've done all these studies, and like you give. So say two boys don't like one another. What happens? They'll either just avoid each other, or they usually get into a fight, then become best mates. Okay. But what happens is they deal with it, right?
Yes.
What do girls do when they don't like each other?
I don't know. If I don't like someone, I won't talk to that person again.
So young girls reputation sabotage each other. So when you hand...
Sorry to interrupt you here. I think at a certain age, you find that okay, somebody doesn't like me, leave that person. But it's not young girls.
No.
30s 'ਚ ਆ ਕੇ ਵੀ ਕੁੜੀਆਂ ਸੇਮ ਹੀ ਚੀਜ਼ ਕਰਦੀਆਂ। ਉਹਨੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਬੁਲਾਇਆ ਨਹੀਂ, ਉਹਨੂੰ ਆਪਾਂ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ 'ਚ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਚੁਗਲੀਆਂ, ਹਨਾ, ਉਹਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਇੱਥੋਂ ਉੱਥੇ ਕਰ ਦਿੱਤੀ, ਉਹਦੀ ਉੱਥੋਂ ਉੱਥੇ ਕਰ ਲਈ। ਇੱਕ ਸਰਟਨ ਏਜ ਆ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਆ ਜਦੋਂ ਬੰਦੇ ਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਸਮਝ ਲੈਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਕਿ ਬੰਦੇ ਨੂੰ ਇੰਨੀ ਕੁ ਪੜ੍ਹੇ ਲਿਖੇ ਆ ਸਾਰੇ ਅੱਜ ਕੱਲ੍ਹ। ਅੱਗੇ ਤਾਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਸੀ ਨਾ ਕਿ ਚਲੋ ਬੁੜੀਆਂ ਪੜ੍ਹੀਆਂ ਨਹੀਂ, ਕੁੜੀਆਂ ਪੜ੍ਹੀਆਂ ਨਹੀਂ, ਤਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਤਾ ਹੈਗਾ। ਹੁਣ ਤਾਂ ਹਰ ਕੋਈ ਪੜ੍ਹਿਆ, ਹਾਰਡਲੀ ਕੋਈ ਹੋਊਗਾ, ਮੈਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਹੁਣ 100 ਚੋਂ ਇੱਕ ਵੀ ਕੁੜੀ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਦੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਪੜ੍ਹੀ। You need to understand, or you need to learn, or you need to adapt that thing. You need to let go things. Okay, that person doesn't like me. We're not talking. We are not in talking terms. Just leave each other. Do not talk about that person. But kudiyan cho cheez hai nahi.
So that comes back to what I'm saying. You hand a phone with social media access to boys.
Yeah.
They might play violent video games or watch porn.
Yeah.
It's not going to be the world's most detrimental thing to their upbringing. You know, but you hand that same phone to a girl, they will reputation sabotage via social media, cyberbullying.
Yeah.
They'll do that, and all of a sudden, bullying doesn't stop at 3 o'clock.
No,
like it used to.
It started.
Yeah. So then that's how you get. So they did the stats, and I think 2006 was the first year that.
And how many kids commit suicide because of
that's what I'm saying. So 2006 was the first year where social media apps were available on smartphones. So prior to 2006, there was a very small number of girls that committed suicide, due to bullying.
Yeah.
And this is American stats, so it's still much higher than Australia or New Zealand. But the age bracket was like from 14 to, I think they did it to like 20, was the age bracket, right? 2006, 400% increase. And they had to drop the age to 11 to cover all the stats.
Yeah.
Only in the girls. The boys had a very minimal increase. So that's where I'm like, it may feel like, oh, my kid's going to miss out.
Yeah.
I need to give them the phone. But in reality...
What's they going to miss out?
No, but in reality, you need to make sure that kid is at a problem-solving level.
Yes.
That if something goes bad, they can deal with it, or they have the tools to go, okay, I'm out of my depth here, I need to talk to mum and dad.
Yes.
And it's when kids don't have that, and they get given access to these things.
Because how long it's going to take to just put one comment about someone. ਕਿਸੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਇੱਕ ਬੈਡ ਕਮੈਂਟ ਕਰਨਾ कोई वड्डी चीज नहीं. And now you on Facebook, you got the whole class as your friend, and that same group of friends she had.
Yeah.
You put one nasty comment, maybe 10 say, "Oh, you're doing wrong." Hardly somebody say, "Oh, you're doing wrong." Most of them laugh for laughing emojis, or just say ha ha ha, whatever. That affects the other person. Then she doesn't want to go to school. She doesn't want to talk to anyone. She lock herself in the room, and then it's all that mind games started, or that depression or stress or whatever.
But it's the inability. It's an inability to deal with stuff, and that's why it's so crucial. Like, look, I'm not pretending to be the best father in the world here. Like, I think we're all just like trying our best, but and hoping we do all right. But like with Eva, I try and make her a problem solver.
Yeah.
So like if she has an issue, I'm like, work it out, kid. I'm not going to help you. Like if she needs help, that's different.
Because all we can do as a parent is try our best. But some things, sometimes it's good to talk to another parent. If you think you are struggling or you do not know how to deal with the situation. Because अपने जो सारे ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਸੈਕਟਰ 'ਚ ਕੰਮ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਨਾ, ਫਰੰਟ ਲਾਈਨ 'ਚ ਕੰਮ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਸਾਰੇ. ਕਈਆਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਆਪਣੀਆਂ ਜੌਬਸ ਇਦਾਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਆਪਣਾ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਬਾਹ ਪੈਂਦਾ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ ਹਨਾ ਯੰਗ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ. ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਜਾਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਹਜੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਛੋਟੇ ਆ. If we talk to someone whose kids are already above that teenage level, or you know someone who you can trust, and you know that I can go and talk to that person, he's not going to sabotage my image in among other friends. Oh, ਉਹਨੇ ਪਤਾ ਇਦਾਂ ਕਿ ਆਪਣੀ ਕੁੜੀ ਬਾਰੇ ਉਹਦੀ ਕੁੜੀ ਇਦਾਂ ਕਰਦੀ ਆ, ਉਹਦਾ ਮੁੰਡਾ ਇਦਾਂ ਕਰਦਾ. You just need one trusted friend whom you can talk. Sometimes just by talking you'll find a solution. But if ਤੁਸੀਂ ਗੱਲ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਨੀ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਕਿਸੇ ਨਾਲ, you will never find a solution, and sometimes it's too late then.
But I think it's the same with every community, but with like kids, it's like a special spot. So like, look, I know, sometimes you'll meet some people's kids and you'll be like, these kids are little shits.
Yeah.
They are little shits, but you won't tell them.
No.
Like you won't, because they'll get offended by it.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So it's like,
But I think that's fine if it's a behavior-wise a child is not that.
It depends on how close you are.
Yes, but behaviors is okay for a certain age. Yes, again, that's how much you are close to that person. But I think more because but then I said it that behavior is okay, but then behavior is the main issue when they're in teenage. Right? ਉਹੀ ਮੁੜ ਕੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਸੁਣਦੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਛੋਟੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਪੇਰੈਂਟਸ, ਆਪਾਂ ਖੁਸ਼ ਹੋਈਦਾ ਨਿਆਣਾ ਮੂਹਰੇ ਜਵਾਬ ਦਿੰਦਾ, ਆਪਾਂ ਬੜਾ ਹਾਸੀਦਾ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਬੱਚੇ ਨੇ ਏਦਾਂ ਕਿਹਾ, ਪਰ ਉਹੀ ਬੱਚਾ ਫਿਰ ਸੁਣਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਵੱਡਾ ਹੋ ਕੇ ਹਨਾ. ਉਹ ਟੀਚਰਸ ਲਈ ਵੀ ਇੱਕ ਇਸ਼ੂ ਬਣ ਜਾਂਦਾ, ਉਹਦਾ ਫਰੈਂਡ ਸਰਕਲ ਵੀ ਉਦਾਂ ਦਾ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦਾ. ਫਿਰ ਘਰ ਆ ਕੇ ਵੀ ਉਹਨੇ ਹਰ ਚੀਜ਼ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਕਿ ਬੱਚਾ ਹਨਾ ਸਟਬਨ ਆ ਹਨਾ. ਇੱਥੇ ਤਾਂ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਮੈਂ ਕਦੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੁਣਿਆ ਸੀ ADHD, autism, ASD, ਇਹ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਕਦੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੁਣੀਆਂ ਹਨਾ. ਇੰਡੀਆ ਛਿੱਤਰ ਹੀ ਬੜਾ ਵਧੀਆ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀ ਮਾਂ ਪਿਓ ਦਾ ਹਨਾ, ਵੀ 2 ਚਪੇੜਾਂ ਪੈਣੀਆਂ ਤੂੰ ਚੱਲ ਕੰਮ ਕਰ ਆਪਣਾ. ਇੱਥੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਕੋਈ ਕੁਛ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ. ਇੱਥੇ ਸਮਟਾਈਮਸ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਥੋੜੇ ਰੂਲਸ in place ਹੋਣੇ ਚਾਹੀਦੇ. There should be some rules, you have to do this, or this is what it is. ਜਦੋਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਕੁਛ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ, ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਕਿ ਹਨਾ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਬੱਚੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਪਿਆਰੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ, ਕਿਹਨੂੰ ਆਪਣਾ ਬੱਚਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਿਆਰਾ.
But it's like you put the hard work in, you get
the fruit.
Yes, I took Eva to work the other day.
Yes.
Right? And she honestly, I didn't know how she'd take it because I it was a long shift that, it was an 8-hour shift. And
I'm so happy though.
I was so busy. And, thankfully I've got really cool colleagues that looked after her. But it was like, she I think one of the guys there was like, I haven't heard a peep out of Eva all day. She's been so good, and
she's like that, today.
But I was so proud because, and I think that's one of the things I've taken away. And again, it's something that somebody else said. They were like, you want to make your kid be one of those kids that is okay, that somebody wants to hang out with.
Yes.
Like you don't want to be have that kid that everyone's like, get that thing away from me. So
like even though today
Mm.
you were stuck in a meeting, so
Yeah.
I was stuck in traffic, and then I was like, oh, school finishes at 3:15. I was still at my other school till 25 past or 3:30. I said, oh no, I need to pay back. Though I told everyone that I'll be late, and I told her that I'll be late, I'll be a little bit late. She was sitting in the office, and then she saw me coming like, this is late. And I was like, I'm sorry, let's start. It's okay, I know you.
Yeah.
So, she understands that.
But we don't hide anything from her.
She does have her attitude.
Yeah.
She's not like, the top golden child. She does have her attitude. She does have her own moments. Yeah. But public jo kidda behave karda bacha, it's very important. We had some most of them are beautiful kids. है ना साडे पंजाबी थोड़ा जिहा रात दे एजुकेट लगी हालांकि बाहर जाके भाਵੇਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਕਹੀਦਾ ਨਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਬੱਚੇ ਨੂੰ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਪਰ ਆਪਾਂ ਘਰ ਛਾਂਟੀ ਲਾਈ ਦੀ ਉਹਦੀ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਜਿੰਨੀਆਂ ਮੇਰੀਆਂ ਫਰੈਂਡਸ ਹੈਗੀਆਂ ਸਾਰੀਆਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੀਆਂ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੁਣਦੇ ਤਾਂ ਦੋ ਚਾਰ ਲਾ ਵੀ ਦੇਈਦੀਆਂ ਹਨਾ which is okay ਮੈਨੂੰ ਜਦੋਂ when I was in India I heard that ਕਿੱਥੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਨੂੰ ਕਾਲ ਕਰ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਤਾਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਮਾਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਕਦੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਹਨਾ ਬੱਚੇ ਨੂੰ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੁਝ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ. But now some of my white friends, they're like, no, I'm bloody just smack on her bum, or
There's a clear look. I think every good parent, there's a clear difference between abuse and discipline.
Discipline, yes. Discipline is very important.
And at like younger ages, sometimes they're doing something really dangerous.
Yes.
And there's no way to get that, to stop without actually physically grabbing them. But like I think it's always going to be interesting, and we'll dissect further like stuff around kids.
And because you cannot stop talking about parenting.
Yeah.
Especially until our kids are 16, 18.
Yeah. And
we're going to keep talking about it.
Yeah, and then
maybe we are very proud last week. Okay, amazing. We were such proud parents, and next week she did something. She was stupid.
All right.
Okay.
You've got what's our final segment?
Yes, our final segment is we did last week in our first episode. Ajda Vichar of Wisdom.
You want to go first, or you want me to go first?
I can go first. Ladies first. So rather than as mine and all this Punjabi, हमेशा एक विद्यार्थी बने रहना ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਇੱਕ ਅਰਥਪੂਰਨ ਜੀਵਨ ਦਾ ਮਾਲਕ ਬਣਾ ਸਕਦਾ ਹੈ. That's a really deep Punjabi statement. The meaning of this one is always being a student can lead you to a very important, successful life. Because there is no age where you can say, okay, I'm done for learning. There is no learning afterwards. Even though, like, this is going really great with our topic, talking about parenting. You learn something new every day.
But
ਹੁਣ ਆਪਾਂ ਜੋ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਈਵਾ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਲਰਨ ਕੀਤੀਆਂ we doing with Gyan, like, with closed eyes.
Yeah.
We're like, okay, we know that, Yeah. He had a fault. It's okay, you'll be fine, Eva's been like, oh my God,
You just did. I was still like, you'll be fine.
And then now we know, just like, okay, Gyan got block nose, congestion. Just get Panadol. I think I had so many visits to hospital
with Eva.
With Gyan, like, उन्होंने कुछ नहीं देना उन्होंने कहना पैराडोल दे दो घर जाके ज़्यादा चूचू करता था ibuprofen दे दो that's it nobody's gonna give you anything so stay home. And with Eva, as Eva's going, like, now she's 7, and as soon as she's growing up, we're learning every day new things. Now I'm more worried about the teenage. Everyone's like,
it's a while
boys are okay with teenage. So, and my mum always continues very funny. English
But I think that, like, with that quote, it's like, I think the biggest barrier to that is when you start to get married to your ideas. Like,
yes.
you start to feel like, oh, okay, I know
what I'm doing.
This
is the best.
And then I think I think I was a bit like that when after I'd been in the New Zealand police for a while, and I'd grown confident. It was that young guy mentality of like, I know what I'm doing now. Like, no one can change my mind. And it wasn't till like we got married and I sort of
Punjabi desi wife ਇਹਨੂੰ ਮਿਲੀ ਨਾ
No, but then I revisited that. Well, actually, what if I just go in everything with a clean slate? And
Yes.
if it changes my mind with evidence, then why not just utilize that
Right,
evidence?
yes.
So I think that change in my mentality is what's allowed me to continue learning. But I think you can very easily get to a point where you just put your wall up and go, okay, I'm done.
Yeah, no.
And then that sort of screws it up there.
Every day is you learn every day. So ਤਦੇ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਕਿ ਬੰਦਾ ਕਦੀ ਵੀ ਸਿੱਖਣਾ ਬੰਦ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਦਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਹੁਣ ਆਪਾਂ ਕਈ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਕਿ ਪੇਰੈਂਟਸ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਨਾ ਕਿ ਵਾਲ ਮੇਰੇ ਧੁੱਪ ਨਾਲ ਚਿੱਟੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਏ ਐਕਸਪੀਰੀਅੰਸ ਨਾ ਹੋਏ ਹਨਾ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਲਰਨ ਕੀਤੀਆਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੀਆਂ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਹਨਾ ਆਪਾਂ ਕੋਈ ਹਰ ਕੋਈ ਇੰਨਾ ਪਰਫੈਕਟ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਕਈ ਵਾਰ ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਕੀ ਆ ਇਹ ਬੋਲੀ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਪਤਾ ਹੈ ਕੀ ਕਰਨਾ ਹਨਾ but then you sit back and then you just when you have that moment and sit down you're sitting down you're relaxing and you're like she wrong ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦਾ it's not ਕਿ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਤੋਂ ਵੱਡਾ ਹੀ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਹਮੇਸ਼ਾ ਚੰਗੀ ਮੱਕ ਦਿੰਦਾ ਜਾਂ ਚੰਗੀ ਚੀਜ਼ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਸਿਖਾਉਂਦਾ sometimes ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਤੋਂ sometimes ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਕੋਈ ਇਦਾਂ ਦੀ ਚੀਜ਼ ਕਹਿ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਆ you realize like I'm loud in my home I'm the loudest one you are quiet ਉਦਾਂ ਵੀ ਜਦੋਂ ਸਾਡੀ ਕੋਈ ਬਹਿਸ ਹੋ ਜਾਵੇ ਜਾਂ ਕੁਛ ਹੋ ਜਾਵੇ ਬੰਦਾ ਚੁੱਪ ਕਰ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਮੈਂ ਜੋਰ ਸੈਟ one day we were doing ਉੱਪਰ ਇੰਸਟਾ ਦੀ ਕੋਈ ਰੀਲ ਜੀ ਬਣਾਉਂਦੇ ਸੀ ਨਾ who's doing this and she said our mom's the loudest one in the home and I was like sometimes ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਦੀ ਉਹ ਰਿਅਲਾਈਜ਼ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਦੇ but sometimes ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਬੱਚਾ ਹੀ ਕੋਈ ਇਦਾਂ ਦੀ ਇੱਕ ਚੀਜ਼ ਕਹਿ ਦਿੰਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ this is right. I know this is right, but I just don't want to admit it. I know it's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. My quote this episode. Look, I enjoy like a good bit of poetry from time to time, but I prefer like the darker poetry. And a really good. Well, you didn't know that. The one I've picked out today is by Charles Bukowski. Okay. Now, she won't know who that is, but if you know, really famous. No, really famous writer and poet, but 90% of his stuff is very dark. Okay. And one of the things he said, and I it sort of fits in what we've spoken about today, is you have to die a few times before you can really live.
That's right.
And I think that's such a good quote because until you lose, screw up a relationship, like do all these things and have those little deaths, you don't...
Before you explain all these things, when we same for Punjabi ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਬੰਦਾ ਨਾ ਠੋਕਰਾਂ ਖਾ ਕੇ ਬੰਦੇ ਨੂੰ ਅਕਲ ਆਉਂਦੀ that's the same
thing
ਕਿੰਨੀ ਵਾਰੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮਰ ਕੇ 4-5 ਵਾਰੀ ਫੇਰ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਜੀਣਾ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜਿੰਨੀ ਵਾਰ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਠੋਕਰਾਂ ਖਾਂਦੇ ਆ ਨਾ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਉਨੀ ਹੀ ਅਕਲ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਕਰਨੀਆਂ
but it comes back to what we're talking about with kids and I think the hardest part for me is letting my kids fail watching them do something and knowing they're going to screw it up but go you got to screw it up and learn and I think that extends to everything like to the ability like yes you got to have strict rules and have strictness within the house but when it comes to decision making and failing you got to let them feel that pain because if they don't feel that pain
it's hard being a parent to
to watch your kid do it but you need them to learn how to lose you need to I'm always like Eva gets annoyed with me because she'll like have a scratch or something and I'll be like you'll live and she'll be like you always say you'll live
and then she's like I can't wait tomorrow
but it's like but now she's minor scratch and other random stuff she doesn't care now
like today she's like oh I had this scratch I was like no
Yeah, so I mean, it's it's a journey, but it hits all of us, and I think we get to a stage where, when we're younger, all those little deaths, we agonize over each one.
Yes.
Where when we get older, you kind of just go,
Yeah.
oh, that's over.
Yeah.
That's done.
That's done.
Like, I'm done with that. We'll have to move on. And yeah, it was awesome. Sucked for a little bit, but they'll be back.
Yeah.
And you learn and keep going. So,
yeah.
Anyway.
We didn't realize it's going to be this serious.
Yeah, it kind of ended on a
podcast
serious note.
Serious note.
Anyway.
But apart from that, it's a Rakhi weekend.
Oh, it is too.
Monday's Rakhi.
Yeah.
So happy Rakhi to everyone. Just keep sending them messages like I'm doing. I'm just sending all Instagram reels to my brother. Just, Rakhi aa gayi hai na. Give me this gift. He's like, he calls me Chotu. Shouldn't say that in here, but anyway. He's like, "Tu das de mainu tu ki lena?" And I was like, "No, main kuch nahi lena." I'm just still sending him messages. Though I love him to bits. He's very ਲੱਗਦਾ ਸਾਰੀਆਂ ਭੈਣਾਂ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਹੀ ਚੀਜ਼ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਭਰਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਹਰ ਭੈਣ ਨੂੰ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਕਿ ਭਰਾ ਦੀ ਤਾਂ ਜਗ੍ਹਾ ਹੀ ਭੈਣ ਦੀ ਲਾਈਫ 'ਚ ਏਦਾਂ ਦੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ So enjoy your Rakhi, enjoy your weekend, and we'll see you guys next week. Please keep following us, share, and so thank you very much.
Cheers. Bye, guys.
See ya.
ਸਾਡਾ ਨਾਮ ਧਿਆਨ ਤੇ ਕਰ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਂਦੇ ਨੇ ਹਰ ਕਿਸੇ ਦੀ ਸਾਰੀ ਬਾਤ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਸੁਣੋ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰੀ